I had $3 million in the bank and a signed acquisition deal on my kitchen counter. But to my family, I was just the daughter who had lost her job, and because of that, I was no longer welcome in their home. They didn't realize that by kicking me out, they were actually forfeiting a fortune. My name is Rose. Standing here in the security line at the PDX airport, I'm about to embark on a new chapter in Austin. The early morning light filters through the skylights, giving the terminal a soft Pacific Northwest glow. As I hold a large coffee from the SeaTac cart, I can't help but think about the long, strange journey that led me to this gate. It all started on a Tuesday evening when my family, my mother Carol, my father Henry, and my sister Ivy, turned their backs on me. Just hours before that eviction, I was in a conference room on the 11th floor of the Crestwood Group's downtown Seattle office. The view outside was a typical Seattle fall sky, shifting between gray and purple, as indecisive as my future. My manager, Ryan, sat across from me with an HR folder. I could tell from his expression that he'd delivered this speech before and hated every second of it. I'd known for weeks that a restructure was inevitable. My position as a senior financial analyst, after 8 years and 2 promotions, was on the chopping block. Ryan broke the news gently, mentioning severance and 8 weeks of full benefits. I thanked him. It was the professional thing to do. What he didn't know was that I had a meeting that Thursday with my attorney about an acquisition offer for a company I'd co-founded 4 years ago. That company, Luna Analytics, was valued at $3.2 million. I'd kept it a secret from my family, just as I'd kept quiet about my savings and investments over the years. Driving home, I had the HR folder on the passenger seat and the acquisition paperwork waiting for me at home. The numbers were life-changing, but my family was oblivious. As I pulled into the driveway of the house I'd moved back into 8 months ago, the smell of my mother's famous lasagna hit me. It used to bring comfort, but this time it felt like a false promise. When I walked in, I noticed the signs immediately. The table was set, the TV was off, and my father had his hands folded, a sure sign he'd made a decision. I sat down and told them about my job loss. Before I could even finish, Ivy's face changed. Instead of concern, she snapped, "Who's going to pay my car loan now?" The room went silent. My mother set her fork down deliberately. Then, my father spoke in his firm, decision-making voice, "Your sister needs this house more than you do right now. You're resourceful, Rose, you'll figure it out." Then, he went upstairs to pack my bag. I sat there stunned. I realized that for years, I had been the family's safety net. When I was 16 and my father's business hit a rough patch, I used my grocery store earnings to secretly pay the mortgage. I put $200 in an envelope on his pillow every month for a year. He never asked where it came from, and I never told him. When Luna Analytics started making a profit, I used my distributions to buy a beach house in Ocean Shores, titled only in my name. And when the acquisition offer came in from a fintech firm in San Francisco, I actually built a family buyout auction into the deal. I had set aside $190,000 to pay off their mortgage and retire Ivy's car loan. But after my father left my bags on the porch, everything changed. I stayed with my friend Tom that night. He listened as I cataloged what I had left: a duffel bag, a car, a laptop, and my attorney's phone number. The next day, I spent my time removing myself from every family account, the internet bill, the recurring mortgage transfers, and I booked a furnished studio downtown. On Thursday, I met with my attorney. When he presented the family buyout option, I thought about the kitchen table and Ivy's selfishness. I told him to remove it. He didn't question me, he just made the note. I felt lighter. I was finally dropping the weight of their expectations. Over the next few weeks, the calls started coming. My mother called to check in, but only to talk about Ivy. On day 14, I canceled the mortgage transfer. On day 21, Ivy tried to lure me home for dinner to clear the air, but I knew she just wanted her bills paid. On day 45, the deal closed. A net amount of $2,870,000 hit my account. I approved an apartment in Austin and booked a one-way flight. A few days before leaving, my father showed up at Tom's place, looking defeated. He started complaining about mortgage issues and car payments. He admitted he hadn't known about my company. I told him I'd planned to pay everything off for them, but after they kicked me out, I withdrew the offer. He put his face in his hands and asked, "I've been doing this to you your whole life, haven't I?" Now, looking out the window as the plane takes off, I see the Seattle skyline receding. I'm leaving behind the burden of being a safety net for people who wouldn't even catch me when I fell. If you've ever been the one who silently fixes things while everyone else takes the credit, this story is for you. There's a massive difference between giving out of love and being taken for granted. It's time to ask yourself, who in your life assumes you're always okay, and what would change if you finally put yourself first?